Recording. I would like to welcome you all onto our today online event that we were preparing for quite a lot of quite long time. Basically, our working group for open metaverse development, led by Daniel, was working hard for now many months, that we were able to organize the event where we would like to share with all of you what we already developed and where we are heading. We are also really happy to have our member Shivam and all colleagues that help us to prepare today's event with us. Miroslav Polzer will also join us, and we will of course start with the welcoming speech of our chair, Dr. Jane Thomason. She is now on the stage of the event somewhere in the United States, so she pre-recorded the welcoming speech that I will ask now, Daniel, that you will share with all of us. Please, Daniel.
Good afternoon. It's with great pleasure that I welcome you to this online event to talk about the work of World Metaverse Council members on sustainability and on our plans to develop something for the COP conference in the UAE at the end of the year. We are super proud of the work of the World Metaverse Council members who have been cooperating and collaborating to establish something truly remarkable. The reason that we established the World Metaverse Council was to set up the first global distributed knowledge network on Metaverse so that we could bring people together from all around the world and share the work that they're doing on the Metaverse. And sustainability has always been one of our original and most important verticals. So I'm so excited to bring this event to you. I also wanted to mention to you some of the other areas that the World Metaverse Council is working on. We have working groups on education, healthcare, standards, regulation, and many other topics of interest, not only to the Council, but to the world. And we are producing leading edge policy and thought leadership papers on those. We'll be looking forward to seeing you at COP. We'll be looking forward to seeing you at our future events. And as you can see from the window behind me, here I am at Consensus 2023 in Austin, Texas, one of the biggest blockchain events in the world. And I look forward to bringing you more news and stories about what's going on for sustainability from Consensus 2023. In the meantime, welcome to this exciting conversation. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to meeting many of you and working with many of you in our quest to build an open, accessible, sustainable metaverse for all. Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you, Jane. It was really inspiring. Now we are moving to Daniel. Daniel, if you please can start with your presentation with all the work that you were working in last few months. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen and walk you through both a PowerPoint presentation as well as a demonstration, a sneak peek at the World Metaverse Campus MetaCOP, and some additional assets that we're building into this. I want to thank Morat, who's on the call right now, and his company Reba, who started MetacOP27. We are working closely with his company to bridge an interoperable metaverse. His company is built in Unreal Engine. The demo that you're going to see today is built in Unity. It is going to be a real interoperable experience between two companies to set the standard going forward. So I will share my screen and walk through everything. So thank you all again for your time and giving us the opportunity to present the World Metaverse Council MetacOP28 and Global Metaverse Project. Last year, we put on MetacOP27, a Metaverse pavilion area that showed how we could reduce carbon imprint by having meetings in the Metaverse instead of flying all over the world. We showed that in the Metaverse, we could still attend sessions, network, and engage with each other in a greener capacity. This year, at MetacOP28, we will continue showcasing the value of the Metaverse by highlighting climate projects around the world. It will also be the launch of the Global Metaverse Project. It's an ambitious goal of connecting everyday businesses, cities, and countries with users in a multi-owned metaverse environment. The purpose behind the Global Metaverse is to create a framework that allows us to generate sustainable funding that will go towards environmental projects each year. Working and collaborating with other metaverses, we are developing a middle layer that will allow a user to walk from one city metaverse to another. I say city metaverse because, as we all know, there are many types of metaverses with different audiences. To start off with, we are working towards building a network of cities that want their users to connect to each other and participate in a similar type of environment and commerce experience, while at the same time being able to control, own, and customize a unique metaverse that represents their culture, beliefs, and beauty. So I want to iterate that one more time. We want to create a similar experience, just as how you go to Amazon or a Shopify storefront and the checkout is similar. When you go from one website to another, the navigation is familiar. We are trying to do that with city metaverses, and we're not looking to build these metaverses ourselves. We're looking to create the framework that allow all the metaverses to connect to each other. So the game plan is to create this template structure that people will work with. The World Metaverse Council comprises of members around the world. We're experts specializing in different areas of the metaverse and Web3 technologies. As a collective, we are creating these templates, procedures, regulations, strategies that cities, businesses, and organizations can use to create their own metaverse, while at the same time connect to other metaverses within our global community. So our template procedures come from the experts leading and participating in our work groups, like the standardization work group. This work group on standardization collaborates with the Metaverse Standards Forum and the International Telecommunication Union and contributes to the emergence of open standards that will foster an equitable, inclusive, and truly decentralized metaverse and maximize its incredible economic and social possibilities. Our regulations work group focuses on regulatory and policy considerations that are needed to protect users from abuse, fraud, and loss. The WMC looks to ensure to key areas around investor consumer protections, appropriate KYC and AML measures, and digital ID considerations to make sure that the metaverse is open and accessible and maximizes benefit and minimizes harm. Our ethics work group looks at ethics within the metaverse. The pace of technological innovations has brought many ethical challenges, ranging from issues related to personal data usage to the deployment of autonomous systems. We all know we're looking at AI being on the news every single day. As the metaverse evolves to become an increasingly integral part of our society, it is essential that we establish an ethical framework that ensures alignment with the UN human rights, UN SDG 2030, and the UN Net Zero 2050 agendas. The World Metaverse Council Ethics Working Group serves as a valuable resource in providing a global initiative that promotes ethical behavior and practices for the emerging metaverse ecosystem. The Entertainment Work Group will be one of the driving forces of users into the metaverse. The Entertainment Work Group plans to contribute curated world-class entertainment content to promote MetacOP WMC Campus, as well as others. Utilizing game engine technologies, the entertainment content will feature international avatar music performers, speakers, artists, technology showcase, and various other forms of entertainment. The Accelerator program that's being put on aims to be a top-tier incubator designed to provide early-stage metaverse startups with the resources, mentorship, and funding needed to thrive. So what does this all mean, templates? And I'm going to get to the demo real quickly. I know everyone wants to see what we've been building, but it's important to preface what we're doing before we show the demo. Let's take a look at something like education. We will be providing cities and institution templates on how education and gamification can be used to enhance learning, how to make education available to people everywhere, how accreditation through the blockchain can be recognized in an instant. Within jobs and businesses, the metaverse will open up brand new job opportunities in positions that we haven't even thought of yet. Back in the 90s, no one thought of SEO as a business opportunity because it didn't exist. As new job opportunities are created, we will be in a position to make sure every city has the same chance to embrace the potential inside the metaverse and give people the chance to apply for jobs anywhere in the world and work in the metaverse. We have to create this level playing field so that everyone can prosper. The metaverse, designed properly, will give the younger generation an ecosystem where they thrive and mold an environment that is suited to a new economy and work mindset. As I mentioned, the entertainment and games will be the driving force for adoption, integrating an exciting experience combined with gaming, and most importantly, reward points, and the ability to redeem these points with real-world businesses to drive traffic to these businesses will be a big element on what we as a council can bring to the metaverse cities and their onboarding strategies. But beyond that, providing artists, musicians, entertainers, and game developers an easy and inexpensive way to showcase their work with access to a worldwide audience. So everything that we've been through is great, but we need to be able to bring not only people to the metaverse, but to include the real world inside it. Once the cities are familiar with what we're doing, they can embrace it. So cities then embrace the opportunity of promoting their signature attraction, whether it be the CN Tower here in Toronto, Eiffel Tower, Golden Gate Bridge, the pyramids. It doesn't matter what signature attraction their country or city has, as well as lesser known popular areas. We can show how to take advantage of enhanced virtual reality marketing in the form of AR, VR, even AI-infused avatars that have information on tourism and city-specific information. So all this we're doing so that we can get people in the metaverse, but we want to take it one step further. We know that it takes money to make things happen and to influence governments. The Global Metaverse Project is being built with a funding mechanism. No different than what banks, credit card companies, or tech companies do, where they charge a transaction fee. Within our connected metaverse, within our global community, every financial transaction will incur a very small transaction fee. With the use of audited smart contracts and with blockchain transparency, we can show where the money goes and how it is being used. As a global DAO, anyone that has made a purchase inside the metaverse will have a vote on what projects we fund. So just to put everything in perspective, the flow that we're working on is, first, we're going to create templates of the best strategies, policies, ethic guidelines for cities to follow. Cities can engage with any metaverse company to build out their world and be part of the global community by working with our guidelines. Now, we know that working with cities, there's a lot of red tape and a lot of negotiation between the different contracts and government requirements. So we're going to go directly towards the business community who represents most cities. We're going to share resources and assets that include access to entertainers, education, job initiative to build content to be explored within that city and within that business community. We're going to show and provide a basic reward point system that every metaverse system can participate in. It doesn't prevent them from creating their own, but we're going to create a global reward point system that will reward people's time while they spend inside the metaverse And those point systems can be used with businesses that agree to participate in the program. Businesses that wish can offer discounts on their products or services from points being redeemed by the users in the metaverse. Any payment or transactions will be done by the vendor directly. So we're not getting involved inside the payments. We're not getting involved with any type of protocols. We're giving the foundations and the ability for people to work and build themselves. Businesses will now have incentives to join once we have a users and population inside this global metaverse. So now it's time for the sneak peek. I'm going to just stop share for a second and open it up. So I'm going to be doing 2 different views and share my screen again. So this is just one of many metaverses that we're going to connect to. As I mentioned before, we will be working with other metaverses, Bora being and Reba being one metaverse that we're connecting to. And the idea is to provide the environment to promote, as well as being able to showcase different events and collaborations going on. So this is a live simulation. It might be a little staggered based on the bandwidth and Zoom. You can see here what we have is a game cube, as we call it. This is a concept where you run and you capture points. As you walk through, we have the ability to generate, it's going to show up. No, it's not. So we have the ability to have AI avatars and pop-ups. As you can see here, we have a venue for the United Nations Codes Initiative, where you can come in and you can watch the videos, you can engage with representative and find out more. On the other side, we have the Commonwealth Youth Initiative. I want to showcase some of the gamification concepts. We talked about education. Inside here, we can watch videos and then take quizzes. So if you have the right answer, it'll open up the right space. If you have the wrong answer, it'll force you to watch another video. But if you take the quiz again, whoops, sorry. And answer the right question, it opens up a new room. We have concert areas. And we'll have teleportations to different areas so you don't have to spend all this time working and running away. We're actually integrating with Fitbit API so that you can actually, if you want, have your avatar connected to your health. And as you do more and more exercises, your avatar gets healthier. So we have a concert area that will be able to stream live videos from YouTube, from Vimeo, as well as Zoom meetings. I'm going to walk through some of the other areas on the other side. Now, the focus you see on these doors are meant to be portals to other events, other metaverses. We are going to showcase an office area here where we can have office places for meetings. We will have Zoom integration, so you'll be able to conduct your businesses or your meetings both with people who are on Zoom on their desktop or inside the metaverse itself. We work with different associations, including sports association. This is a room where we're showcasing other associations that are building out metaverse. We have the ability to purchase NFTs directly. We even have a swimming pool area here. And this is just to demonstrate that the environment can be whatever we want inside here. as we go around. Here we have Reba. We're still building out Reba's area here. Full screen access can be done. And part of the maze concept is the gamification, discovering, finding out different areas and being rewarded for it, being able to access content through teleportation, as well as being able to jump into worlds through portals. So inside here, we have galleries, and we'll be showcasing our members in different areas of the gallery. You can kind of see that we have some of our members in here and upstairs. But if we want to have portals, excuse me, we can jump into different worlds. So I'm going to be jumping into a representation of New York City. And this is just something we put together as a demonstration purpose. And while that's loading, I'll be answering all the questions afterwards. You can keep putting in the questions within the chat. And excuse the rendering of the avatar. You'll click close on very soon. There we go. So here's a model that we're working on. We are also working on AI integration, kind of like No Man's Land, where as you walk into the room, AI will generate the room for you. Because obviously, if you look at all the rooms in here, impossible to design and create custom, unique rooms. So we're working with an AI toolkit that will allow us to create rooms as we enter in. I'm going to stop my share for a second and walk into another version. Just 1 second. So give me 1 second. I want to showcase the school portion as well as the artist studio. So some of the questions I will answer really quickly. Let me just share my screen again. So I'm going to jump into a school. The school concept allows us to work with institutions around the world, allow them to build, but connect to the concept that a student can jump from one school to another school. You kind of see back in the background, Niagara Falls. So I'm in Toronto, Niagara Falls, the city is an area that we are talking with. And this is an actual representative of Brock University. As we're walking through, to enter class, you have to register, and with crypto wallets, you can come in and authenticate whether or not you have access to that room. So I can walk in here and participate and watch whatever is being displayed or talk to the teacher. If I go upstairs to the auditorium area, you can see we have another one of our members' website up here. And inside here, that room actually streams my video feed if I was being streamed directly from the metaverse, but it's being used right now by Zoom. Each one of these buildings can be a portal to other universities or other colleges. And I'm going to jump into our nightclub. So the nightclub idea is, how do we bring people into the metaverse through excitement? So working with entertainers, musicians, even athletes, providing them their own studio where they can engage with fans, engage with other collaborators, will give them the reason to bring their fans in from their social media platforms. So they can go on Twitter, they can go on Instagram and say, come visit me inside my studio. I'm doing a private concert for 100 people. So as I come in here, I'm going to go upstairs and take a look at, a designed room that they would have. We're actually building out different dance floors. So whether it be pop or country or R&B, The setting will be different. We're integrating games, so Dance Dance Revolution, to the music of the artist. And as you play and get points, you can then get access to different rooms that open up. For example, if I come in here and this is an NFT, and if I want to enter her room, I have to purchase the NFT or have it in my crypto wallet. And now I have access to that. And finally, what I'll do is give you a sneak peek of the World Metaverse Council city. So this is a concept where not only inside the campus, but we'll create an entire city that allows us to really collaborate with corporate entities, with businesses, with organizations all over the world in a format that also includes the ability to access games, education, resources, health, campuses. Just give it a few seconds. And then we'll get to the questions. While that's loading, oh, a lot of questions. And so just to reiterate, this is not a World Metaverse Council only project. We're already talking with other metaverses. We want to include as many metaverses as possible. We want to include as many technologies as possible. This is the idea of the interoperable, shareable global metaverse. So when we launch this in June, we're going to be launching in different stages with different work groups. We're going to be getting their feedback. Obviously, we have limited resources on our side, but we aspire to put in as much as we can. Oops. So you can see here, this building here was actually designed by SOM. They actually designed the Burj Khalifa Towers in Dubai, as well as the World Trade Centers in New York. We'll be building out a city, and inside the city, people will have ownership. This is going to be on the Polygon blockchain. We are integrating with MetaMask as well as Taurus Wallet. So there'll be a complete blockchain component to this. And if you allow me one more demonstration, I'm going to go back to the lounge. I'm going to showcase an area. Actually, stop share. No. I apologize. So my team and I were working on a lot of this like 15 minutes before, just to clean up some of the elements. While that's going on, I'm going to continue this while that comes on. So how is this all going to work? We're going to start at COP28. MetacOP28 will be demonstrating all the environmental projects that we put into the metaverse. But then in 2024, we'll continue to onboard cities with the help of our global partners. We endeavor to help create an inclusive, educational, and engaging metaverse that drives tourism to these cities and stimulate local business economies. This environment will be a place where users, people, and entities, corporate entities can prosper, network, and create jobs, while at the same time drive transactions to help fund environmental projects. Cities, as I mentioned many times, can choose whatever metaverse development company they want. As long as they connect with us, they will connect to a global community. And the big one that we're planning, so this is a 2.5-year project. In the summer of 2025, it is the 40th anniversary of Live Aid. We are going to be launching Globe Aid with a target of 50 interoperable cities metaverses globally. We'll set out to launch the world's first global metaverse series of concerts, competitive online games. So the idea is, over the next 2 years, bring on board as many cities as we can. And then in 2025, the summer 2025, we will launch concerts inside the metaverse, and with a goal of raising $1 billion to go towards climate initiatives around the world. We are setting up this event to help make the metaverse a globally accepted technology and space to experience. So imagine Elton John, the Rolling Stones, the biggest stars in the world performing the concert, and us not asking for donation. It's all through transaction fees that we'll collect. So businesses can sell whatever they want. Concert experiences can buy whatever they want, knowing full well they're supporting a cause. I'm just going to come back into the demo here and jump into the urban area. I just wanted to showcase this because I'm pretty proud of this area. So we work with architects and importing their urban community layouts with the idea of fractional ownership, so people can participate in fractional ownership of rental properties, as well as to display their layouts for selling, for rentals, so you can actually rent property and see the environment around it. Think of cottages. You can see whether there's restaurants, the city area, by walking around with your friends, your partners, your spouse. So we have all these different communities that, excuse me, are working on. And again, everything in here will be gamified so that you can jump in here and a game pops up. And as you play the game, you get points. And now those points can be used at the business down the street. So you kind of see this kind of initiative allows us to partner with companies like IKEA, where they can.
Right now?
Oh, am I still sharing?
I don't think
Just
so.
please mute yourself, everybody. Please mute yourself.
So that's basically it. I know I could keep going and going, but I'm going to
So-
stop it there.
No, you weren't sharing your screen the last bit.
Oh, sorry. I was not sharing my screen.
No.
How about that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is our urban area, and basically being able to partner with companies like IKEA, where we can go in and import their products, and you can just kind of see, because the dimensions are accurate, you know that this will fit in your room or in your office space. We can import entire urban communities, so architects and urban planners can showcase their land layout. For city aspect, it's a great demonstration of, you know, what's going to be built in the future. There's a lot of stuff. So I'm going to stop share right now because I can keep going and I don't want to take up the entire time.
Super, Daniel. If we
Yep.
can jump now to a few questions that were raised in chat, but then still go back to Shivam and follow up with additional discussion afterwards. But just please choose the most important.
Yeah, so
from
very
chat.
quickly, Ready Player Me will be integrated. Absolutely, that's not an issue. Procedural generated room is connected to the wallet via Wall Connect. We will be doing Wall Connect. We're going to be doing as many of the most popular integrations. We want users. We want people to be part of this. It's both. So right now I used it on my local laptop because I don't want to have any lag, but we are streaming live on our servers as well. Will allow students to attend from top teachers. Yes, that's the idea. Can the art and design working committee offer? Yes, please. That's from Malcolm. So is it on-device rendering or pixel streaming? Both. So we're doing on-device rendering, so you can download and have assets, but we'll do pixel streaming for the dynamic components. Is there any support possibility for audio streaming along with it? Yes, we're doing that right now. What is the latency on live? I will figure that out when we launch it. Thank you. Some classes. It was built in Unreal. Sorry, this was built in Unity. Education. I will answer the private ones directly. And no, the alpha drop. This is great by training. Thank you. Metaverse and Second Life, any difference? That's a deeper conversation. Second Life is an entity on its own. We are looking to create a global community where we're connecting the businesses, the entertainers, the corporations all in one for the purpose of collaborating and networking. If you do some help in the thing. So I'm going to put my email address in the chat. You can email me directly your questions if I didn't answer them. And then today, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Thank you a lot, Daniel. Big congrats to amazing work. Also super presentation, inspiring. I would just add to what Daniel said. It's actually a lot of work being done now with his company, also Riba and others. But today's event, it's also organized because we would like to invite other companies, other organizations to join this collaboration, to build the solutions together, because the final goal for June 25, of course, we can reach just if we are collaborating together and building this open metaverse campus together. So now we are, I would like to call Shivam Kishore from Environmental Sustainability Department at United Nations to tell us a little bit more about the CODES, Coalition for Digital and Environmental Sustainability, that we are also as VMC looking to collaborate with. We find really a lot of possibilities in the framework of this program, and we are really happy to have you, Shivam, here today with us. Please, the floor is yours.
Super amazing. Well, good afternoon, good evening, morning for those of you who are on the West Coast. Nice to see you all. It's always exciting to be a part of these conversations, you know, because you sort of start to see where's the future heading, or rather, I mean, where are we currently as a society heading towards? For us, the environment program, the conversation always is, how do we start to really think a bit more intimately about the role of tech in the context of environmental and social sustainability, with a strong focus on environment, because the pace of environmental change and social change globally is far outpacing the current capacities of the different countries to measure and monitor that change. And given the fact that we live in a digital world, the fact that we're having this conversation is a testimony to that. The question is, how do we start to leverage the digital tools and technologies to better enable environmental targets? That is the conversation. So it's a pleasure to speak to you about a rather very sort of impactful initiative that we've had the privilege of being a part of over the last 2 years. I had a small presentation that actually gave a couple of days ago, so I'll just share that because it might help just follow the thought pattern. Just let me know when you're able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see. Super.
Perfect. I go. Perfect. So just a really quick sort of presentation, just to maybe start with giving you some context of how this conversation came to be. And then a little bit about what CODES is, which, like Tajid was saying, stands for Coalition for Digital Environmental Sustainability. And then what are we hoping to get out of this undertaking? And please feel free to ask any questions that might come up. We can have a very open sort of candid conversation. I'll try and answer the best that I can. So this is no surprise. We just have been having this conversation that digitalization is transforming our global economic, social, and environmental structures. Every aspect of our lives is being shifted through digitalization, and this is a recognition that we are starting to see at the UN level quite closely. The biggest thing that stands out to me here is that 60% of our economic transactions globally are now passing through digital channels. And what that is doing is it's starting to disrupt the production, distribution, consumption, and finance patterns across all sectors of our economy. Now, we see that in different ways play out. I mean, in consumption, it's fairly easy for us to relate to that. E-commerce is an easy example. The ability for us to click a button and buy products and services has certainly been accelerated over the last many years. And that's allowed for us to fundamentally shift the way we as a society consume. In some parts of the world, it's a lot more pronounced than the others, but the trend across the world is heading towards that direction. Same thing goes towards the production patterns of the economic sectors. We're looking at the way our food's produced, for example, or the way we are able to predict certain sentiments in terms of global supply chains. All of that is being shifted because of digitalization. And we've got multiple data points to show that this digitalization can actually allow us to exercise a healthier, safer, cleaner, and a more equitable future. We've got data points that show that if leveraged strategically, this transformation can allow us to decarbonize, detoxify, dematerialize, and drive a circular and a regenerative economy. The challenge that we have at the moment is we are struggling to realize that potential. Most of the digital sort of efforts or the consequences of digitalization are showing up in ways that most of us would not intend to, but the reality is showing us otherwise. There's rebound effects, consumption is rife, e-waste is a real threat, causing significant environmental damage, misinformation, polarization, digital divide, where in some parts of the world, or even within certain parts of the world, we've got a massive disparity between those who have access to tech and those who don't. And so these are the sort of systems, the consequences that we have to try and very intentionally mitigate. So the question then becomes, how do we ensure that this transformation is accelerating our push towards social, environmental, and economic sustainability? Daniel was just speaking about it as well, like even in the concepts of metaverse, every time a new technology that is put forward that has the capacity to disrupt the way we function as a society has externalities associated with it. The question is, how do we take into account those externalities before they're realized? And so that we do not fall into a pattern of creating unintentional harm where we intended to do good. And that is the question that really prefaces this entire code's conversation, is that we have to repurpose the role of digital transformation to drive sustainable production, distribution, consumption, and finance patterns, so that we can start to really realize sustainable outcomes through tech. This is an example to show what that could look like. So for example, in the concepts of sustainable consumption, we could indeed think about ways to leverage technology to enable consumers to promote greener lifestyles. In the production life cycle, it could potentially allow us to automate decisions that embed sustainability to optimize the way we reuse our natural world for our conveniences. In the finance, very sort of rather obvious undertaking around circular economy and financial principles. Distribution, same thing again, enabling supply chain transparency so we can trace where and how our materials and products are coming from, that can allow us to again make better decisions on how to use them. So the question naturally becomes, how do we do this? And this is where really the concept of codes as an entity came to be. So about 2 years ago, 6 organizations that are working on global challenges, which includes the United Nations Environment Programme. There's United Nations Development, the German Ministry of Environment, the Kenyan Ministry of Environment, the International Science Council, and a nonprofit called Future Earth based out of Montreal, Canada. The 6 organizations really came together to ask this question of how do we start to enable global shifts that can allow us to exercise a sustainability-driven transformation. And the answer to that came to be that we need a global convening platform of multi-stakeholders that can really set the priorities and then allow us to take aligned action while creating capacities to drive this transformation. And that is the genesis of the Coalition for Digital Environmental Sustainability. In 2022, after we launched codes in 2021, over the year, we got over 1,000 stakeholders from 100 different countries in consultation processes to really understand what can be done about this. How do we start to shift this conversation? And that effort resulted in an action plan, which is called the Codes Action Plan for a Sustainable Planet in the Digital Age. And this action plan really serves as a blueprint, as the first global blueprint to really highlight the shifts that are needed to enable the sustainability-driven digital transformation, or sustainability-centered digital transformation. And those 3 shifts are really focused on enabling a more closer alignment between digitalization and environmental and social and economic sustainability. Right now, these 2 sort of streams operate in parallel. You've got the sustainability experts whether that's environmental, social, or economical, that are working in a silo, and you've got the digital experts that are working in a silo. The conversation becomes, how do we start to better align them? The second part is around mitigating the negative impacts, which is all too familiar, the concepts from e-waste to misinformation. And the last is accelerating innovation. So how do we sort of really start to catalyze the financial mechanisms, the research mechanisms to ensure that we are driving or accelerating innovations or technological innovations that are premised on sustainability, or at the minimum take into account the sustainability principles as a cornerstone of their growth. So those three shifts were a resultant of this consultation process that are part of this action plan. The action plan also puts out 9 initiatives. And so these are the ways to realize those shifts. The shifts are more of a high-level strategy, high-level sort of undertakings to bring about a thought process change. And the way to realize them is through these action initiatives, which are sort of tangible initiatives that really give a very tangible way of acting upon the concrete items to realize those shifts. One that is interesting that I think we've been exploring with the World Metaverse Council could be around standards. So what does it mean to have global standards to govern the metaverse in a more sustainability premised way, which allows for better privacy, better security, better recognition of the rights of the individuals that are joining it, also taking into account the environmental footprint of the metaverse process and making sure that that can be mitigated to a certain extent. Education is another piece where these initiatives could intersect with the metaverse, which is really around how do we ensure that we're able to build capacities around creating and governing the metaverses, but again, centered on sustainability. So each of these initiatives is really meant to drive a coalition of efforts to enable that sort of sustainability-driven transformation. So just to give you sort of a roadmap of how all of this came to be. So again, like I was saying, March 31st, 2021, CODES was launched. CODES became sort of part of the Secretary General's roadmap towards digital cooperation. And so we've been working very closely as a part of the Global Digital Compact process, which is a UN-led global process on coming up with a strategy to progress global digitalization with a focus on sustainability. We launched the action plan in 2022, and now we're in the process of catalyzing movement, catalyzing energy and efforts to progress these initiatives. So the way we are positioning the initiatives is they will each be led by multiple organizations. Each will be supported by a community of practice, and CODES, or we as the Secretariat, will sort of be the overarching umbrella that just makes sure that we're able to convene, get the right conversations in place, get the right infrastructures and ecosystems to allow for these initiatives to progress. At the moment, we are having multiple conversations across the different initiatives to identify which organizations might be best placed to progress these conversations. And the World Metaverse Council, or the conversations with the World Metaverse Council, is one of the many. So I definitely invite you to read the action plan for all. I mean, all of you come from a background that is interested in tech, and I'm sure sustainability is not a matter of interest, but a matter of need for everybody at the moment. And so I think this intersection can certainly benefit from the details in the action plan. It's a very collaborative undertaking, so if there are parts of the action plan that you're interested in exploring more, please reach out to us. We really take pride in the fact that we are a community open membership-based entity. Really, the idea is to convene and get different mindsets and conversations together. So please feel welcome to read and then share your thoughts and ideas. Really, a big thank you again, and a sense of gratitude, because it does take collective effort to bring about systems shift. One entity can't do it alone, whether that's the UN or not, especially when we're talking about such a massive system shifts on a system that is so entrenched in every aspect of our lives. It's going to take a lot of collective effort on all of our parts. And so it's a massive undertaking, but hopefully with a lot of stakeholders that are thinking in an aligned way, we can exercise that shift. So that was that. Thank you so much. Again, I welcome any questions. I'll stop sharing my screen. Please.
Yes, thank you,
welcome.
Joan, for your great presentation. If we could look together to the chat, if some questions were raised. Otherwise, if somebody from the audience would like to ask or comment the presentation, I got few messages. If you will be able to share your presentation, sure. We'll share it with all the participants, send you by email, but we can also put it on the webpage of VMC. So yes, we will share it.
Definitely. I'll share the presentation, and I'll also share a very quick sort of one-page document that really highlights what codes is and what have been the progress so far and what are next steps. That might be a good document for you to reference in events where you need to quickly get an understanding of what code is. So I'll share both those documents so you have them in your repository.
Super. Do we have any question? Any opinion? If not, then once again, big thanks to you, Shivam. Looking forward to our collaboration. Thank you. And now I would like to call Dr. Miroslav Polzer to join also to present us amazing work that he, together with many partner organizations, is working on COP conferences, but also much wider. We invited you, Miroslav. Are you with us?
Yes, I am.
We invited Miroslav, of course, because we collaborated already last year with GLOCA organization and many partners, also Republic of Slovenia, their Ministry of Economic Development and Environment, where we were organizing MetacOP side event. Why? Because Miroslav is actually on the spot of each COP conferences. He will explain us how this actually will look like in Dubai this year, and we are then connecting this on place presence with Metaverse that we do in parallel. So Miroslav, please introduce yourself, also the organizations that you are involved, and let us know how we can collaborate on COP28.
Bravo. Hi, World Metaverse Council community. It's a pleasure being with you. Such a dynamic group of people looking on how to use these new technologies for the global common good. It's great. So I'm Miroslav Polzer, based in Klagenfurt in the south of Austria. My main organization is IAAI. It's the International Association for the Advancement of Innovative Approaches to Global Challenges. It's a civil society organization which has the vision and mission to build the next generation of the United Nations system for non-state actors. Because we have a systemic problem that global community is not coordinated properly, and we don't know who is doing what, and we are not providing the right incentives. And we believe that with culture, technology, and organizational innovation, we can fix this problem with a systemic knowledge and technology-driven solution. And this organizational innovation is GLOCHA. It's this Global Challenges Action Empowerment Consortium. And for this, we have also GLOCHA Global Challenges Foundation in New York, 501c3 accredited public charity. And in Klagenfurt, we have also public benefit, the limited liability company. So we have also a private sector institutional vehicle for the implementation of projects. So in this big vision of getting everyone everywhere empowered for climate action, we have seen that the blockchain technology is a very powerful enabling technology. And so we have looked within the UNFCCC system, because my organization is accredited to the United Nations through the Economic and Social Council in New York, but also the UNFCCC, the United Nations Climate Governance Program in Bonn. And there we have said, let's look how we can make more use of blockchain technology in the pursuing of global climate goals. And from this initiative emerged the Climate Chain Coalition. It's now a network of 360 organizations that are looking on how to use blockchain technology for climate action. It has been co-founded by the UN Climate Change Secretariat. And in the Climate Change Coalition, I'm the strategic director. And this is a little bit of context information, because with this work on blockchain for climate, we have connected with Tadej and Nena already 5 years ago, I think. And really, it's a pleasure and honor to work with you as you are having these great pilot initiatives and leadership in Slovenia. And now, in this context, we've had also a meeting last year in Dubai about how this year's climate conference could be an opportunity for the blockchain community to be visible and to be recognized and to get the political and financial support that we need for better delivering on this front. And Tadej and Nena have been there as well, and there has been presented the MetacOP initiative. And we've had then, as we are accredited to the UN FCCC, we had the opportunity to request a pavilion space at the COP27. So we had 60 square meters of space, physical space, where we brought digital solution providers, members of the Climate Change Coalition and other players to present their solutions and to meet the global climate governance community. And with Tadej, Nena, Borut, Aleš, we have then agreed also to have a Slovenian day at our pavilion, Slovenian-Austrian Partnership Day, and we've connected what was going on in the virtual space in the MetaCOP with the people on site in the blue zone. This is this space where you can get to only if you have accreditation. And we had altogether IAI and Climate Change Coalition about 20 accreditations to make available. And we've had also a press conference together with the Slovenian representatives. Yeah, and this year we are going to repeat this and even improve. We are planning to have something about 120 square meters of pavilion space, the Digital Innovation Pavilion. It will have some immersive experience. We are speaking to have a place for the MetaCOP demonstrations and for this hybrid events, bridge building between the metaverse and what's going on at the COP28. Yeah, and looking forward to see how your work develops, how it gets traction, and how we can also use with our members the solutions that you are developing for virtual participation of our members, presentation of digital solutions, and for networking, these kind of things.
Super, thank you, Miroslav. Thank you a lot. Do we have any question also for Miro? In the meantime?
Yeah. But if I may add an information, happy to see Hossein Hassani, our new team member on the call as well. Is a data scientist, AI expert. He is working with us on, in particular, also on our citizens' climate action app development, and connecting us with universities, the AI university in the UAE and other players. And welcome, Hossein, to the World Metaverse Council.
Super. I will shortly show you how this looked like. Last year we have short video that I would like to share with you. If in any time board you will be interested to comment it together with me, of course I do you see the presentation?
Yeah, it's working.
Yes.
Okay, this is how it looked like. This main entrance hall with already a lot of stands where companies were showcasing with their avatars behind the representatives of the companies. The main room, we had the first meeting of VMC in Metaverse. Some of our members, founding members, were also present there in person, and we were also streaming into the Metaverse everything what was happening, as you see Miroslav, on the spot of MetacOP28. A really great experience we had with the ministries of Slovenian government.
Symposium to define
Philip Rickson, he is speaking.
Decentralized metaverse and what that would mean in the contribution of travel and progress and journey of mankind.
This experience is just being here to me makes me so happy. It's nice that suddenly we meet again in a simulated reality.
So it was approximately 500 people actually in all one day visiting the MetacOP, and yeah, the greatest experience we had it was that when representatives of government of Slovenia had to learn how actually it means to have their own avatars to showcase and to discuss various issues, it was quite great. Also, what we showcased is that actually it's possible to collaborate in 3D space with much lower CO2 emission regarding the travel on the spot. So we definitely believe that with the quite good experience we had from last year now, with the collaboration that it was wonderful, explained by Daniel. Now we are, of course, upgrading this into the project, working together with many more countries also and companies. I believe we can really make a good progress. So here I would maybe ask you, Daniel, or somebody else.
Can I just add a few words?
Okay.
First, thanks. Hi, everybody. First, I would like to congratulate Daniel to really prepare a very nice presentation. Just about the last year MetacOP27, it was really, we developed this in quite a short time frame, but as today mentioned, it was at the end of the day it was quite successful. But there is really a huge potential, and what we are doing now, where we are now. So I think it is on a different level, and we really have a good opportunity to make it more global and really a good project. And so, I'm looking forward.
Thank you, Boris. Thank you. I'm opening discussion. Somebody else would like to share your thoughts, raise a question, please. Raise your hand or just switch on the mic.
Hello to everybody.
Hello. Hello.
This is Antonio from Italy. Everybody
You
heard my voice.
Antonio in the metaverse. Now you saw it in Zoom.
Exactly.
Please, Antonio.
Exactly. Because I said in that sentence, it was nice to be here again. Because we are again in a switching moment on time, space, and perception on different level. Now I'm working with the World Metaverse Council through a framework we agreed with my academy, my institution, and we are preparing a masterclass at the end of May with Alexandra Prodanovic, based on some aspect that I saw on the great presentation of Daniel about tourism, about entertainment, about art, and about new way of thinking design in the metaverse. Now there is also in parallel a symposium that is going on with Philip Eriksson that could be held in the south of Italy in spring 2024. Why? Because we are thinking, and I would like to share this, on the ontology of city. The fact that, of course, we need to use city because help our imagination and project something in the mind of the users. But in this beautiful intersection in which new technology can start to enable what European is trying to do to redefine the world, what is the topic of the Web3, going to a decentralized value, trying to imagine through the new generation a more green future. So we can start also to rethink, re-engineer the metaverse city metaphor, because of course comes from something that Europe wants, smart city. But the green is inside the smart rural. It is on the decentralized mass of people that already choose to be green, to be circular, to be in the razor of what was in the 90s global. So that's my thought that triggered this beautiful pushing. So seeing also the next stage of the interoperability between a real engine, Unity. Oh, wow, congratulations.
Thank you, Antonio. We have Dr. Amit Sata. Please, Dr. Sata.
Yeah, greetings from me from India. This is Dr. Amit Sata. I'm heading the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Cell at my university, which is located in Rajkot, India, which is a western part of India, where actually we are trying to extend the application of metaverse to manufacturing domain, because where we located, it is one of the largest cluster of manufacturing in India, where actually I belong. So we are trying to extend the application of metaverse to the manufacturing. And just few days back, actually, I joined the council and I seen excellent work which is going in the direction of metaverse. And I'm very happy to be part of this council and this group. I'm very much open in connecting or say collaborating with anyone of part or anyone into the council related to the extending the application of Metaverse to the manufacturing. If anyone is working, we are happy to collaborate. We have already developed a Metaverse enabled manufacturing system for professional education, where during the pandemic time, especially into the professional courses, where the skill enhancement was playing a major role. And unfortunately, many of the students or many of the young minds were attending the sessions through online mode, but unfortunately their skills were untouched. Actually, their skill and enhancement was not happen. So we have actually transformed our entire one of the manufacturing lab into the Metaverse. So students can enter through VR headset and immerse into the environment of manufacturing setup and perform the various experiments onto the machine without actually coming to the university campus. And we are also able to judge them whether the skills can be enhanced or not. So on which we are working, but we are still very much open to collaborate, especially in the context of manufacturing. If anyone is working, I'm just dropping in my email into the chat box, and happy to collaborate. And I'm very excited to be part of the council. Many things are happening, and kudos to all these gentlemen, those who have shown the presentation. Great work. I really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sata. Definitely you should engage into the working group led by Daniel. A lot of collaboration I think you can do together with also other members, but also to others. Do we have somebody else that would like to share something with us? Please raise your hand. No? Maybe some conclusion words from you, Daniel?
Yeah, first of all, thank you everyone for being part of this. I haven't been able to get to all the questions, so I did put my email address, dan@webpowerup.com. I do want to respond to everyone, so please send me an email. Happy to connect and answer the questions. We don't have all the answers, but that's why we have the council, so we can collectively work together towards something that's beneficial to everyone. I do want to say a really big thanks to the executives on the council today, Dr. Jane, Alexandra, who works behind the scenes, Miro and Bora, thank you so much for starting everything out. I know full well how much work went into the first MetacOP27 with the deadline, so I want to extend my appreciation for that. To everyone in the work groups, we're doing something completely different. Not only are we doing the policies, the programs, but we're implementing it into a hands-on, real initiative where we're creating the actual ecosystem so that we can apply everything we write about. We are working, collaborating with metaverses to create the interoperability on that. So one thing to make sure that everyone understands, if we don't give back to you, we will. There's a lot of things happening at the time, but please keep in touch. Please keep connecting with us. We want to work with everyone. And ideas, please, we can't do this by ourselves. We welcome ideas. We welcome different initiatives. Shivam, thank you so much for participating. It's really an honor to be collaborating in joint ideas with the United Nations codes. We were actually speaking with members of the Commonwealth this week. So a lot of different organizations are taking note of what we're doing. And there's a lot to do over the next 6 months over the course of 2024. And please, if you have any ideas on how we can make the Globate in 2025 real, please connect with us as well. Thank you today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Daniel. For conclusion from my side, of course, I would like to thank you all, the speakers, to all participants. Once again, call to action. Please reach us, reach the working group leads for any suggestion, any activities you have. Now, in the following month, we will start to organize national chapters. Not just to have the organization in each of the countries, but also to engage you in the concrete activities, as it was mentioned. every city have its own country, and the chapters that we will include, we will ask you, of course, to find out the city with the interest to join the initiative that we are building. Also, to help us navigate and find the potential World Metaverse Awards winners in 23. As you know, as we already communicate, World Metaverse Council together with company seven events organized already in June. First part of the World Metaverse Awards 23 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, in the framework also of the wonderful conference, Metaverse Discovery Conference. We will follow up this with the conference that will be organized by our organization in December this year in Dubai, where the second part of awards we will, of course, announce, and where we will organize also the first gathering of the assembly of our organization, together, of course, with the two-day conference. So definitely reach out and react on the all the invitation that we will send to you, starting with, of course, the formation of national chapters, and of course, as it was explained so many times, World Metaverse Council is a network for collaboration. So let's collaborate and make a world a little bit better. With this, I would like to thank you all. Wish you a happy and wonderful day, and looking forward for our future collaboration. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Grazie, Federico.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.